My brother, I do not know if this letter will ever reach you, but I write it anyway because I feel as though something is ending here, and I need someone to know what it felt like before it was gone. The city does not look different at first glance. The market's still open. The baths still steam in the mornings. People still argue in the streets about grain prices and taxes, and the latest proclamations from officials no one trusts anymore. But underneath it all, something is breaking. You hear it in the way people speak now. Everyone talks in half whispers, as though the wrong word might make it real. They say the Goths are closer than anyone expected. Some claim they are already camped beyond the outer roads. Others swear the army will drive them back before they reach the gates. No one knows which to believe anymore. I spend my days carrying messages across the city. Once, it felt like an important job. Now it feels like I am running between frightened men pretending to still be in control. Yesterday I delivered a letter to a magistrate who would not even open the door himself. His servant took it with shaking hands. I could hear voices inside arguing, not about how to defend the city, but about where their families might flee if the walls fall. It is strange, brother. Rome was always supposed to be eternal. That is what we were taught as children. The roads led here. The laws come from here. The world itself seems built around these stones. But now people speak as if it could all vanish. Food has grown harder to find. The baker near our street closed yesterday because he could not get enough grain. Mother pretended it was nothing, but I saw how she cut the loaf smaller than usual at supper. I worry for her. She refuses to leave. She says our family has lived in this district for 3 generations, and she will not abandon it because of rumors. I do not know how to convince her that these rumors feel different. At night, the streets are quieter than I have ever known them. Even the taverns close early. You can hear footsteps echo in ways they never did before, as if the city itself is holding its breath. This morning I passed a group of soldiers near the western gate. They looked tired. Not the kind of tired from marching, but the kind that comes from knowing you may be asked to do something impossible. One of them told me quietly that reinforcements are not coming. I do not know if it is true. No one does. But the way he said it made my stomach tighten. There are more refugees arriving every day from the countryside. They bring stories of villages emptied, of fields burned, of men who never returned from trying to defend their homes. Some exaggerate, I am sure. But not all of them can be lying. The temples are fuller now. People who once laughed at the old rituals are suddenly making offerings again, as if the gods might still remember us if we remind them loudly enough. I walked past the Forum this afternoon. It was still busy, still loud, still Rome. Yet for the first time in my life, I felt like I was looking at something fragile instead of something permanent. It frightened me in a way I cannot quite explain. If the city falls, what happens to people like us? We are not senators or generals. We are not wealthy enough to flee to estates in the south. We are just people who live here, because this has always been home. I keep thinking of when we were boys, running through these streets, believing they would stand forever. I do not believe that anymore. Still, I will keep carrying messages while I can. Someone has to make sure words still move through the city, even if everything else is slowing to a halt. If the roads remain open, I will try to send this with a merchant heading north. If you receive it, write back if you can. Tell me if life beyond the city still feels steady. It would comfort me to know that somewhere the world has not begun to crack. Your brother, Marcus.